All right, do it.
There it is.
Hey, partner. Pretty good.
How's it going?
Good. Are we did you just double check on us? Are we live?
I can see us. We are live.
All right. Hey man, I did it. I took like an hour of my day to go in and do some behind the scenes testing.
You are a Bobby Dazzler.
I am a
I'm still kind of pinching myself about that. And more importantly, since that happened, and we had Gary, on our first official video with that amazing message that he left. Then he did get back to me. We sent him an email. He got back to me, and I thought that was really cool. And Dan and I have had a few exchanges about Gary's invitation to go metal detecting with him, and so we'll have to. I think the Copper Princess may be even more excited than Copper Dan is, but it looks like we'll be able to pull that off this early spring, potentially maybe sooner, and we'll have to decide what the logistics are work for.
Well, definitely, we'll get a date set with that. So I suppose we should start off with the show by saying condolences to your Green Bay Packers. Do you have any words of wisdom on that?
No words of wisdom, just, really disappointed with the way that game unfolded, especially after they were the number one seed. And so I don't know how if you're a fan of the Packers, you could be anything but disappointed. It was such a letdown after such a fantastic regular season, and by all stretches from everyone that Aaron Rodgers is going to get the MVP again. So the fact that he won it last year, they got to the NFC Championship game, lost, now got the number one seed and lost a game with some really unfortunate plays. That stinks for the Packers, but you got to give San Francisco all the credit. They made two really crucial plays on special teams with a blocked field goal and then a blocked punt for a touchdown. And that really was the ball game. And even with that, the Packers still had an opportunity to put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands with 6 minutes left and down by 3 to take the lead, and they didn't get it done. So I think Rodgers was even cognizant of that in his post-game comments. And it is what it is. So now that I'm older, I get over things quickly. So I'm already looking forward to what's going to happen with
as an avid Vikings fan, I may have some words of wisdom on how you. And the famous words of a Vikings fan, maybe next year.
Yeah, there is always next year, and that's the fun thing about it. And the other thing that I realized as I thought about it, I'm wearing this hat, which is the Packers. If people remember Aaron Rodgers and Clay Matthews with the wrestling belt, these are the hats after they won the Super Bowl back after the 2010 season. And that year they backed their way into the playoffs. They had to win their last 2 games. They were the lowest seed, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, San Francisco kind of reminded me of that. They got the last seed, and now they've won 2 great playoff games for their team. And it'll be really interesting to see what happens with them in the Los Angeles Rams. I think everybody assumed it was going to be Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. And now we've got Matthew Stafford versus Jimmy Garoppolo. It was a great football game weekend. As you know, I unfortunately had to go to a funeral in Minneapolis over the weekend, but we listened to the games on the way back on Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. And boy, oh boy, what a football weekend. If you weren't a football fan before, even if your favorite team lost, And I know because I had a great exchange with our friend Dark Greg Keller, and he's a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought they were going to pull that game off. And listening to it on the radio, not with the video, just listening to the scoring that was going back and forth at the end of that game was insane. And the fact that Kansas City was able to, with 13 seconds left in the game and 3 timeouts, get a field goal to take it to overtime and then win the game is probably one of the most outstanding football games that I actually have recorded now to watch because I didn't get to see it. I was actually listening to it on the radio. So thanks for asking. I'm doing great. And
I just thought maybe you would just say a word on it, but we got a 15-minute synopsis of the game. No, I'm just teasing.
Well, I understand with the Packers, there's a lot to talk about. With the Vikings, there isn't, Dan. So
just here, take your knife back. Well,
so hey JK, hey Zozo, hey L,
yeah,
hey, let's go for a walk. Great to have you guys with us, Boero. Yeah, how about those Packers? No, not anymore. Thanks for that. Really glad that you guys are with us, and Dan and I are here for the second official show. And Dan, thanks again for asking me to be here. And we had that fun with Gary Drayton last week, and I think everybody we got some really positive feedback. I think we had over 20 comments on the video about just they like the fact that we had the segment that we'll talk about in just a minute.
And we learned, and what we learned is you don't play somebody else's copyrighted music on the whole intro. I say YouTube takes it down.
I actually sent a message to Steve Earle, who's the guy who wrote Copperhead Road, to see if we could actually get licensing to play it. Because after that, you were like, wow, I really like that song. And I'm like, I like it too. And it's a fun way to open the show. So
it is, but
we'll see if we can work some magic. But we definitely don't want to pay fines or have the videos pulled down. So that was a nice learning experience. Although I did tell you, you had told me, something that you're going to respond to at the end of the show today is a show that was on this weekend. And you're like, yeah, you haven't seen it yet.
Uh-oh.
I messaged Dan, I think this morning, and I'm like, it says taken down by NBC copyright infringement. So that's our friend Treasure Warriors. And I don't know if Ben must have played something from NBC for that one to get blocked. So live and learn. Ben let that happen again.
Ben's
but it's not just a rookie mistake. It's happening to everybody, it looks like. So Dan,
I think we should play You Don't Know Jack.
I was going to say there's only one person on this of the two of us that actually does know Jack. And for what do you think about everybody else who's watching right now?
They don't know Jack.
They don't know Jack. Let me find it. I'm going to find it. I'm going to bring it up and go full screen with it. Oh, let me know if you can see it, Dan.
No, negative. I see the top. Oh, there you go.
Yep. Let me
get quick. There you go.
We good?
We're good.
All right. So you don't know Jack episode 2. Just going to read the rules of the game again. Each show we'll invite Jack Stuef to join us for a fun segment called You Don't Know Jack. Who knows, one of these weeks you may be surprised to see Jack live with us. It's a fun segment to learn more about Jack without asking him solve or chase related questions unless he volunteers to do so. There is no doxing going on here, and the information, unless Jack gives us fresh content, has been shared elsewhere before on previous shows, websites, books, photos, articles, or other publications. We may revisit some of his emails to searchers or simply ask trivia-related questions like the ones we're about to do to launch this new show feature. Just remember, Copper Dan is one of the only searchers that we know of that has sat in an airport and quaffed beer with Jack to get to know him since Forrest ended the chase. He knows Jack, so let's play what, Dan?
You don't know Jack.
You don't know Jack. I'm going to read the first question.
Question 1.
Jack wrote a BuzzFeed article in 2011 on gaming the food delivery business and the ethics of it. At one point, he was buying 1.5-pound Maine lobsters in an amazing garlic sauce from an Ecuadorian spot in Williamsburg that were delivered to his door. What was the price of a lobster dinner that Jack ended up paying for one lobster dinner? Please enter your answers in chat. We'll play a little Jeopardy music and we'll make sure my microphone doesn't go crazy this week. All right. We know you guys are on a delay, so we're going to wait, but just put a dollar amount. Could be $2,000, $1. What was the price of a lobster dinner that Jack ended up paying while he was working for BuzzFeed, trying to figure out if he could game the food delivery business? Zozo says zero.
Zero.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you it's probably a little bit higher than zero.
a little bit higher than zero. JK Pioneer, $5.99.
$5.99. That's not a bad guess.
That's not a bad guess. All right, we're going to give 5 more seconds. Candy says $50. L $2.99. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is $4. $4 is your winner. Nobody got it. Do you know why they didn't get it, Dan?
Because they don't know Jack.
That's right. They don't know Jack. All right, let's go on to question 2 for Copper Dan to read.
All right, hang on. I got to make my screen big here. Question number 2. Jack wrote an article for Wonkat in 2010 that had the title, James O'Keefe Tries to Get CNN Reporter Onto His blank, blank, blank. What were the last 3 words of the article title?
And you can see I've got the title with the words blanked out, but what were the last 3 words of that title? James O'Keefe tries to get CNN reporter onto his what? And we're going to play the music and give you about 25 seconds.
Dun,
Oh,
dun.
this is so much fun, isn't it?
Oh, this is not important. Just why don't we know Jack? We're going to show you. Not important. We're going to show you why you don't know Jack.
Kid said 75. I think that's a little bit late on the lobster dinner amount, not the last 3 words of the article. The Copper Dan 2010 Wonkat article. James O'Keefe tries to get CNN reporter onto his blank, blank, blank.
Oh.
All
right.
10 more seconds.
10 more seconds. We're giving him a little time here. We got to see if anyone will even guess.
All right, 5, 4, 3,
Pickup
2,
truck.
1.
Ellie.
All right, Dan, you read that.
All right, hang on 1 second here. James O'Keefe tries to get CNN reporter onto his dildo lube boat. I cannot believe I just said those 3 words.
Yep, you just read it out
together.
loud.
Dildo lube boat. What?
Wow.
I'm just trying to take that in. I'm like, what? What?
All right, we're tossing it up. We're going to change this from time to time to feature another searcher.
All right.
So this question is not about Jack. This one is a quick. You don't know Cynthia.
Oh, we didn't get to. They don't know Jack. I don't think anyone was going to get that. I didn't even know what that was.
Well, we got L laughing on that at least. All right, here we go. Question 3. In this photo with Forrest, Cynthia is wearing a shirt with the name of a team on it. What is the name of the team on the shirt that Cynthia is wearing? Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's see if anybody gets this one. Wow. Not important says, when can we play the Chase singles game?
Well, neither of us are single, so we should probably start your own channel. And I don't want to be single.
Oh, there, JK Pioneer got it. Here it is.
The Packers.
Shirt of the Green Bay Packers. Thank you, Cynthia, for that. All right, let's go right to question number 4.
I actually when you sent this to me beforehand, I previewed them. I actually knew. I that's one that I knew because I know Cynthia is a huge Packers fan. All right, is this for me?
No, let me read this one and you can read the last one.
Okay.
Oh, no, go ahead. You read this one. I think that's fine.
All right. In an email to a searcher in 2020, Jack vehemently dismissed the auction site as a troll site and stated, is that a typo?
And
stated, if they think the treasure could have been blank, where blank. What specific location did Jack end that sentence with?
So in 2020, Jack was dismissing the auction website and said, if they think the treasure could have been someplace specific. What was the place that Jack said that troll auction site thought that the treasure could have been? The place. All right.
Let's have a look at chat here.
So I did not know the finder. Ooh, that was Ryan Bavetta says that was to his email. Nicely done, Ryan.
I'm guessing he probably knows the answer then.
I'm sure he does know the answer. In fact, he probably is in New Mexico. Oh, Lorraine S. I think we're gonna have to give it to Lorraine.
Why don't I see that? Oh, there it is.
Stuck up George Washington's nose at Mount Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Lorraine said Mount Rushmore. Again, for those that get the questions right, like JK and Lorraine, your name's going into a hat.
We're keeping track.
Into the copper kettle.
We're giving away big prizes on this show. Number 5. This is for you, partner.
For me?
Or am I reading this one?
Yeah, go ahead. It's supposed to be when Jack, not Jackie. He hasn't done the Bruce Jenner thing yet. So
when Jack tweeted on August 20th, 2021 to help promote donations for charity to win the map, this is me. When I made the map to win with his signature on it, what compliment did Jack pay to me when referring to me at the start of that tweet?
How did Jack refer to Dan at the start of the tweet on August 20th, 2021? That's an interesting one. I don't think the answer is persistent. I know that. That was actually on the map.
Hey, we could do that as a question.
August 20th, 2021. Blank, who was a Fen searcher, has made a beautiful commemorative frame for a map he got signed by Forrest. What did he refer to Dan as?
I don't tweet.
Zozo says friend. No, that's
Friend.
Incorrect.
Sorry, thanks for playing, but try again.
All right. About 5 more seconds. We'll see if anybody's going to get it. They could have looked it up. If they had Twitter.
All right.
All right, here it is.
A great artist who was a Fen searcher has made a beautiful commemorative frame.
I just wanted to have you say something self-serving after I also had made you say dildo lube boat all in one segment. So, Dan, you are a great artist. That's a great compliment Jack paid you because that frame, everything was beautiful. And of course, the copper artwork you and Francis create is amazing as well, too. So, yes, Copper Dan is a great artist. That I got to say dildo lube boat, but at least knows Jack. But besides Lorraine and JK, what do you think, Dan?
I think they don't know Jack.
And thus ends episode 2 of You Don't Know Jack.
Stay tuned for next week.
Little sweat equity on that one.
I can only imagine what you're going to come up with next week. If you got me to say dildo lube boat this week.
At some point when Copper Dan does another hunt.
Oh, God help us all. God help us all.
Yep. It's not going to be a sailing vessel in the map on the water with the waves and the whitefish. It's going to be a type of boat. All right. So speaking of boats, just spending a second, Dan, talk about your thoughts about Gary getting back to me and inviting us down there and what you're thinking about potentially going down and doing metal detecting with Curse of Oak Island. For those of you that don't know who we're talking about, it's Gary from the Curse of Oak Island, who's the metal detector with the beautiful Lincolnshire, I believe, accent from England. When you talked about Dan raising $30,000, he said $30,000, which I thought was interesting.
And he thinks we're a bunch of Bobby Dazzlers and top pocket finds.
Yeah.
Is it well, it's actually, is it on tonight, Tuesday night?
It's on, but I DVR it so that I don't have to watch the commercials. So
we don't have we got rid of our cable about 6-8 months ago. So I'm having a feeling my wife is gonna hop in her vehicle pretty quick and head on over to my to the neighbors, which happen to be her sisters, to watch it. When she found out, she was more excited than me when you sent me that video. I thought it was like, holy crap, cool. How in the world? But when I showed it to her, she completely freaked out. And then when I told her that there may be a chance that we could go metal detecting with Gary, all she said was, I don't care. We'll pay what it costs for the flight or whatever. We're going. I'm like, kind of figured that.
Yeah, he's actually been they actually did a show on it. I believe it's called Before Oak Island or After Oak Island or whatever, or Beyond Oak Island. But Rick and Marty and Maddie, who's kind of like the host of Oak Island, went down to Gary's. And that's kind of exactly what we'd be doing. We will be doing with him is going on a beach in Florida where the 1715 Spanish fleet sunk off the coast. And typically after rough storms there's still literally hundreds of millions of dollars of Spanish gold coins, the stuff that they took from Mexico when they got to Mexico City and made coins out of it, brought it back. We're going to bring it all back to Spain. And that was when all of those boats, they didn't know they were sailing right into a hurricane in 1715, and they all sunk, and a good number of people survived and got to shore and lived there for a while until they were rescued. But every year, Gary says, after storms come through and he continues to go out metal detect, it's the gift that just keeps on giving. He's found gold coins. He's even found part of the Queen's treasure that is this giant emerald ring with a bunch of emeralds in it, and it's I can't imagine what that's worth. It's got to be worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not maybe even more. So
that was definitely a Bobby Dazzler when he
so
well, I think that's really, really special and neat that he does give out give the lessons like that, and and that he invited us down, so we're going to take him up on that. And
and he's going to give us some stuff that we'll probably do, either some raffles or some things for St. Jude's again. And I think that'll be cool, either before we get down there or after we get back. We'll obviously do a show, and if we have some stuff to give away, we'll either do that as a raffle or something where it's on, donation or eBay bidding or something, but we'll get something out there.
Yep, absolutely. That was something John and I talked about before we started this channel, is that we're going to continue. I've always been big on the St. Jude's, so we're going to continue with that and continue to raise money for the kids with cancer. Because
just looking at chat real quick.
Yeah.
All your odd clouds have been torched worldwide. Man, I don't know what that means. Free viewing. Who pays for me to go to Vegas? Not important. I don't know who's paying for you to go to Vegas. Diana W says, I'm late. I don't mean that's to viewing the show or if she's pregnant. So I'm wishing her well either way. If you're late to the show, you don't know Jack. So hopefully you go back and watch that, because we had another fun-filled episode with questions. And we actually had 2 contestants that knew Jack, and their name is going into the copper kettle for the monthly drawing. So stay tuned. I believe we're up to 3. We also did I owe Kyle an apology because I put that dude chip in an envelope, but I forgot to mail it before I went to Minneapolis. So I'm going to send that out to her tomorrow so she gets it.
Oh, and speaking of that, I already reached out to Candy and the other one. I forgot to send. I gave away 2 posters and 2 coins last week, and it went. I forgot.
Yeah, that's what a Packer loss will do to you, Dan.
What's that?
So that's what a Packer loss will do to
you. That's what. Yeah, I was so distraught for my friend John that I forgot. Yeah.
So
no, it happens.
Go ahead. So just a couple points of information. Dan and I've gotten some suggestions for the show. One of the things that Dan's going to talk about later is, so we won't get into it now, but I've done 4 PowerPoint presentations about what I thought was important about the timeline of the chase. And I think there's not really anything left for me. I think I thought those were done in a way where I was potentially critical, but also complimentary to Jack, and enough. I think I presented enough information for people to make up their own mind. And if people want me to go on other shows to talk about that stuff because they hadn't seen my PowerPoint presentations, I may do that. But Dan and I really wanted to make sure that this hour is intriguing and fun. We're talking about treasure hunts, but that it's positive. And
that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about Jack.
Right.
Or obviously if there's a sale of a treasure chest or, more positive, just keeping it more positive. So, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
There's a couple of people that have asked, including K-Pro, that if I would do something on heritage auctions and how heritage auction works. I checked Heritage's site again this morning. There's nothing listed at all that pertains to the treasure chest in any way, shape, or form. So I think Dan and I could do that, but I think I want to wait until we actually would get some type of confirmation that an auction's coming up before we would take the time to do that, because the last thing I'd want to do is have any of you get excited and go register and set up an account and do all that work. And if it doesn't come to fruition, it'll just be a big waste of everyone's time. So there is if you go to Heritage's website and you go under buy sell, on the last item on the drop down under buy sell is a guide to everything on how to do everything on Heritage auctions.
That's good.
And you can pick it by category. It has all the stuff about Heritage live auctions, about online bidding, what BP means, buyer's premium, which means if you bid $100, you're most likely going to pay $120 because you pay the premium to the auction house. All that stuff is on Heritage's website. And again, I'm more than happy to do a show with K-Pro on that if she wants to have me on, or actually run through and scroll through the website just to show everybody how to get set up. But right now, Thea coming out last week and saying that Heritage is going to be doing the auction, and it's just different people have to grade the coins as opposed to the people that are looking at jewelry and so on and so forth. If that ends up being true, great. And at that time, we'll take a shot at it. Dan and I'll make sure we get you any information we can to help out.
Would you actual auction. Do you plan on bidding on anything if it does get pieced out?
There was a time where I definitely would have said yes for sure. Look, what I bid on your map. I was into it like big time, right? And but I think as time has passed and you and I are looking at buying flights to go metal detecting with Gary Drayton from the Curse of Oak Island and other stuff that's on the horizon for the future, it just would depend what kind of mood I'm in, how many cocktails I've had, and if something would be special to me. I don't know if it would just be having a gold coin.
For me, that's kind of what I'm after. Just one. But just one gold coin. Just an ounce of gold is worth almost $2,000. And then when you throw in, well, these coins are, I don't know depends what year they are. It depends what kind of condition they are in. And then of course, with the Fen name attached to them, I don't know what that's going to do to the price, but
Alan K is saying, how about an hour on ha ha ha? Let me show you something that I have here. If I can find it, I'll be back in just a second.
Anyways, let me jump over to the chat.
I thought it should be lying around here, but I can't find it right now. But I actually I think I took it upstairs, but it's an actual t-shirt I bought with the ha 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 cover on it. So
funny.
I'll have to wear that for one of the upcoming shows. And I do have something for Alan that I want to send him. And it's I think I showed this to him or sent him a picture of it, but this is a lapel pin from France that they did for the Dan Cooper. The magazines in France were done by a company called Pep. So remember, this is the one that kind of matches that picture of Forrest getting into his plane. But this pin actually has the character Dan Cooper on it. So Alan, I cornered the market on these, and you're a good guy and I got a lot of enjoyment out of your stuff. So shoot me your address on Messenger and I'll get this in the mail to you as a gift from me to you, because I really appreciate the amount of time and effort. I was very entertained. It was a lot of fun. And this goes out to Alan K as a gift from me to Alan. So you can have this little lapel pin of Dan Cooper.
JK says he would bid on a gold coin. JK, we're going to have to like talk because we don't want to bid. We all end up bidding on the same gold coin as somebody else in the community and to just drive it up. That's what happened with the that last auction with the bone flutes and the scrapers. I believe
Adam Foddy got his bone flute, and
he did. Good for him.
Well, he had to go sign for it at the post office, and that was last week. So he said he would play it for us. So I don't know whose show he's going to go on and do that, but maybe I bet you it'll be Susie Fenhaven's show. But I'll get in touch with Adam tomorrow or tonight. Oh, he's probably asleep by now, but get him a message to see if we can get him on the Copper Factory and test out his bone flute. I can't believe I just said that. That's almost as bad as dildo lube boat. And for anybody who tuned in late, they're like, what did Packer Jack just say? That was one of the answers to one of the you don't know Jack questions. So I'm not insane.
Dildo lube bone flute. There, we've got a new word.
It's the name of our new band, right? All right, so Dan.
So to transition, when with that, this transition, so one thing we talked about doing on this channel is it's a treasure hunting channel. So let's talk about other treasure hunts. And I was talking with Jenny Kyle today, and I asked her permission if I could share some stuff off of her Mysterious Writings website, and she said that would be fine as long as we just mention where the information is coming from, and absolutely, right. We can partner with her and grow both places. So I need to give me 1 second, guys. On the wrong. Okay. I lost you, John. Did you go? Uh-oh.
I think Dan's having technical difficulties. So Packer Jack, I'll start singing. I'll do anything to keep. Now you're back.
Am I back? Yeah, I was like, well, where did everybody go?
I was going to start singing.
Oh,
Zozo says bone flute battle, Adam Foddy versus Jethro Tull. That would be awesome. Unfortunately, Ian Anderson has passed away, but Jethro Tull is a great band. Still is, but
all right, partner, can you see my shared screen here?
I can see it says Treasure Island, Cracked, and Houses Asunder.
So these are treasure hunts that are on the Mysterious Writings website under treasure hunts, and we got a new one. Well, it was actually out November 10th of last year, Treasure Island, and that is a boots on the ground. That is a boots on the ground for, I believe, a proxy item.
It's $10,000, gemstones, coins, and other relics.
Yeah.
Available on Amazon.
We'll click into Amazon here in a minute, but I just want to get all these. So then there's Cracked. This is a treasure is Bitcoin wallet worth $15,000. Look at this one right here. We know this. Houses.
Yeah, that's the Eric Sloan painting. That's amazing.
That would be. I've been working on this. I bought into this the moment it came out. I just can't.
Yeah, and that's got to be a hard one. I did not, only because I was doing yours, and then work got a little bit silly for a while there, and but that sounds like that's an actual really awesome one that Mindy and Candy put together, because it's been out there now since October, and it's full armchair. And they, Mindy did say, and Candy did say, you got to go down some deep research on Google to get some of the things. But if you're looking to dive into one, I think.
Hey, Candy, how about Candy? You don't even have to release a hint. Just give us a slight nudge, just a nudge in the right direction.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody knows about Xavier Marks and the Missing Masterpiece. That's been out for a while.
Yeah, and I guess some clues just came out.
Yep.
With Damon John from Shark Tank. put out 3 tweets on behalf of Xavier Marks with more clues. So that's interesting that one's still going on with all the people in our community that are working on it. I know Mike Cowling is working on it. He's doing Zoom meetings on that. So check out Kyle Lazar's. You can email kyllazars@gmail.com if you want Mike to get you on a list to be on the Zoom meetings for Xavier Marks.
And then there's the search for the golden heart. And I believe this, boots on the ground or armchair. Okay.
Can submit a claim to the buried location of the token by email or dig the token up yourself. That's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
So I think we're going to go into one of these. I'm going to pick one per week and reach out to the, similar to what Mike does, I guess, on their channel. But I wanted to. Did this switch over to my Amazon?
It did.
Good.
Yeah, and it's showing your password and your credit card number. It's
yeah, right. You guys should just all jump on that. I'm buying. No. This about the book, this timeless classic by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is one of the world's favorite treasure adventure stories, appropriate for all ages. Experience the original classic in a format you have never before. The Treasure Island Special Treasure Hunt Edition features additional new content based on the original book and enhancements to make this an enjoyable classic even more enjoyable for paperback readers. And it contains clues and hints to our real world treasure. So the guy who wrote this also
wrote. We got to stop for a second. Capro said, LOL, I guess the Grand Adventure didn't make the cut. That's hers and Mike's. We just went to the mysterious writings page, Capro, and that one was on it.
Sorry, Capro. I wasn't meaning to do that.
Yes. God forgive us that obviously Mike and Capro.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there? The first 2 parts were solved. There's this still going on.
There's this still going on. And I know they're going to be talking about it. They didn't do a show last night because there was a special occasion, but I know on Thursday for sure they'll be talking about it. And like I said, if you want more information on it, don't only go to kyllazars@gmail.com to talk to Mike about getting on the Zoom chats. You can get information from him on how to get involved in their chest. And there's still several of those chests. They have Capro, forgive me. I think there was 5 or 6 different chest options that you could potentially buy with them. But you should just send her the Zoom link, Dan, and she could come on and talk about it herself.
Yeah, does she want to come on?
I don't know if she wants to come on with 2 swashbucklers like us.
Hey, we're drinking some kind of concoction that my wife mixed me.
Yeah, I don't know if she wants to come on with you after the battle that you guys just had, talking about what we talked a little bit about, but you kind of put the line in the sand on right. not with me because I'm a man of the people, but with the people that were talking about we're illegal activity. Are people accusing Jack of illegal activity or doing anything illegal to try to get information on Jack? And you were saying, that line is being danced over right now, and you don't like it, is basically what you were saying. But
all right, can we hit the timeout button here so I can?
Sure.
I mean, unless you want to speak for me, I could just sit here.
No, I don't want to.
All right, guys. So we have now completed the treasure hunting part of our show, and we're going to talk about Jack Stuef. So first of all, I'm in the awkward position with my feelings on this because a few of my friends are on the other side of the aisle, including possibly to an extent. Are you leaving, John?
No, I'm just filling up my cocktail.
Oh, I was just going to say, including you have been respectful in the way you have done it. But
I've been critical too. And
you've been critical. And so I just want, first of all, Ben and K-Pro, this is not a personal attack on you. These are just my feelings that I think a line has been crossed, and any chance that we ever had potentially getting Jack to give us some more words or anything, I think may be gone. And that's just my feelings. The way some of this information has been gotten on the Reddit, I don't want to say illegal, but when you're tracking somebody's, I'm assuming it's his cell phone with pings to know where he was at and how he went. I just don't think that's right. And then what really got to me was him being accused of hacking Forrest to get the suspension, to get his solution or to find the chest. And if you want to have that conspiracy theory, I think that should be kept in private. I mean, to put that out there public, things leak out, and the next thing you know, that becomes word, and Jack cheated to get the chest. Now, if it comes to be that you have definitive proof, then absolutely, I think that should be brought out, but only then. But that's just my feelings. I on my Facebook page on the Copper Dan's Golden Moor, I expressed my opinion because it is my page, and it turned into quite a heated battle with a lot of different opinions.
Yeah, I think there were over 60 comments. And again, I wasn't able to watch the video that Dan spoke of over the weekend. And I tried to this morning, and that was the one I said that said NBC Universal has made a copyright claim against that. But obviously, I think very highly of Ben and Ashley and K-Pro and Mike. And I know you do too.
And Dan, I do very much too.
Yeah.
I consider them friends. So this is,
yeah.
And again, so it puts me in a little bit of an awkward situation. I don't claim to be Jack's defender just because I met him. This is not, don't let this come across as that. This is, this is just me thinking this isn't right. I don't care who did it.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent, K-Pro has said the same thing about Mike, that he said, hey, I'm at peace kind of with where this is at now. 9 Mile makes sense to him, and he doesn't want to keep doing the conspiracy theory bridge shows specifically on the Forrest Fenn chase, although he's obviously an amazing man that's incredibly supportive of his loving wife. And so Mike's handling it that way. You and I had an exchange this morning, and I said, look, to me, I view Jack as someone who, just like one of the questions earlier tonight, for his job was looking at how you game the fast food delivery or the food delivery system, right? Where he ended up paying $4 to get Ecuadorian lobsters and garlic butter sauce delivered to his home for $4. And he wrote an article on that and talked about the ethics of it. But I also was a big watcher of the show Big Brother, and I think they're on like season 20 or whatever. That's how old it is. And I watched all those first seasons of that show. And really, to win that game, you have to be deceitful. You have to be deceitful and create hidden alliances and try to get information and do things to win. At that point, I think it was a $500,000 prize on Big Brother.
Wow.
And to me, when I say I believe Jack's been deceitful about, not about the June 5th, 6th date, as we've talked about, I don't think that's illegal. And I don't think that, I've ever accused Jack, as you know, Dan, of committing crimes or doing anything that's legal. And I also said very clearly, I don't believe he and or Forrest were responsible for a searcher's death. Now, people of all the different spectrum on ethics and morality may disagree on where they think someone like Jack falls on that spectrum. Some people thought he was a terrible person for doing the credit card turning point thing, right? Which is, he didn't do anything illegal there. It was just, how do you game a system to get the most potential benefit out of credit card points? And obviously he was a writer who, if you went back and did research on Jack, actually was getting paid to go and do those types of things to say, can we break this system? Can we do this? Just like ethical hackers get paid to figure out how they can hack things. That's ethical hacking. Illegal hacking would be breaking into someone's computer illegally or doing something like that. Right. And I think, Dan, I haven't seen that show, but what you described to me didn't sound great. I'm going to give that the benefit of the doubt till I actually get to see it or have a conversation with those guys. I get your point, and your point is, would Jack ever come back to the community to do interviews and those types of things? I think you've also said you don't know if he would come back anyways, even if this was going on. But
Right.
your point was, we certainly aren't. This is certainly isn't
We're not-
helping if we'd ever.
Yeah, we're
potentially
not doing
want-
ourselves any favors. Like my wife says, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Yeah.
And I know Jack, and I know a lot of people have an opinion of Jack because if you go back 10 years, or has it been more than that now, when the Sarah Palin comment about Treg.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't condone that at all. And I remember when that happened, and I didn't realize, until much later that who this person was. And when we met, it was actually, I didn't bring it up. He did. He goes, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we had a little, I don't know if I've even talked about this before. It was a short discussion. And I said, Jack, when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of dumb stuff too. I mean, you're 20, and in Jack's situation, he's working for a media outlet that is kind of, when you toe the line. No, that doesn't make it right. But I think in a way, he just wanted me to know without even me asking that. He goes, I'm not that same person, is I think is where he was going with that. And I'm like, and I actually said, I've never judged you. Right now, I'm looking at you. I'm here looking at you as you are now, not what you were like 10 years ago, whatever. So
yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that I think anybody in their 20s would go back and look at and say, boy. And I thought
even John.
Yeah. Oh yes, for sure.
I bet you've got
would Jack go back and do an article on donating to a sperm bank today that he did, how many years ago? Would he go back and do some of those things? I thought what was really interesting, and there was a little method to my madness with You Don't Know Jack this week, was bringing up the $4 lobster. Because in reading that article, Jack actually talks about the unethical side of that, and would he be doing it if he wasn't writing an article? And you certainly wouldn't do it if you walked into that restaurant to try to do it, but because it's anonymous and you're ordering something online and they bring it to your house, and he actually said he could have eaten $1,000 worth of food for $250 every month, and if he continued on with that practice. And he also said he would have gotten gout and whatever. But I thought that's an interesting article to read, where you actually see him commenting on the ethical nature of, obviously he was doing something that most people wouldn't do, right?
Right.
But that, and so the fact that he did that, and again, came out in K-Pro's presentation this week, that if the messages that were sent to Dig and Gypsy about 9 Mile and that location and the fake blaze were from someone, David Moore, was that actually Jack using Jack's email? It looks like it was Jack. My comment on that is, to me, that's more of playing Big Brother. It's deception. It's, I'm going to create a fake email account to try to get information from another searcher on where their location is. And I understand why people would be upset about that. I also understand why Candy said she was upset that Jack didn't, give a tip of the cap to Dig and Gypsy in any way for kind of not stalking her, but using her information. But everybody was doing that. And it was interesting to see our friend Jana, J Minnesota, comment today about, she said it is a weird thing with the treasure hunting community. Well, they'll have Zooms and go on, and people will probably give out clues and give away hints to hunts that she's working on. And she said she bangs her head on the table. I think that's what she said in her post. She bangs her head on the table because, she's like, wait, you're actually giving away clues to a hunt that you're trying to solve. So I think everybody's all over the spectrum on this. And for me, Dan, to your point, as long as people aren't doing anything illegal, but
I realize everyone's got their own opinion and their own way of going about it. I just thought maybe we would have done this a little differently. We might have a better result, but what's done has been done.
Right.
But so I just want to look at the chat here. Kid says, if Jack chooses not to give out the sols, then he should be prepared for all kinds of conspiracy theories, because that's all we have. And to an extent, I agree, because that is what happens. I wish I knew. I wish I had some information to give people on why the solve, if Jack is telling the complete truth that him and Forrest agreed the spot special, or if it's because it's in a national park. Believe me, if I had that information, you would have that information. So
I think after some of that, all those comments jarring, Nick Spera, who was commenting, was saying the problem with anything that we talk about is Jack is really the only person that can confirm that right now. Because even if Shiloh knew and came out and he said, people would say, oh, Shiloh didn't really know, he's just making that up. People would say that some people would say that even if Jack came out with it. But I think what Nick was trying to say is all of this is going to be conspiracy theory, because you only have one person right now that Forrest is gone, who could come out and definitively say, this is the exact location where I found it.
I think right now our best bet, and this is in my opinion, is the family. If the family knows the solve and would be willing to share, whether that's Shiloh or what, but I don't have any inside information on the family. I met Shiloh once, and I don't think I even said hi. I saw Shiloh at an event I was at. I met his sister, and other than that, that's all I know.
Yeah,
USA China says that is because this is no. Jack is responsible for his action. 1 hour doesn't change that. I'm assuming he's referring to the 1 hour that I spent with him and he signed the map. Again, you are judging Jack with information that other people have dug up that could be taken out of context. Now, I don't know. Maybe Jack is a bad person. Maybe he did sketchy things. But I'm just saying, before we throw him under the bus, I think we got to make, and I do realize that without him talking, but a lot of searchers have said are you back? Or was I gone?
Yeah, you're there.
Sorry. Well, a lot of searchers have said he doesn't, I've heard recently he doesn't care about the community, but yet he opened up when he did, he was forced out. Now, I've talked to searchers that said I would have done the same thing Jack did. I would have got it and remained anonymous. In fact, even Toby and Shelley. That was their plan. They would have never come forward as the finder, but they would have let the community know, which is exactly what Jack did.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. At what point is, where's the line? And if we're crossing it, you're just saying to the search community, hey, everybody gets to make up their own mind on what they want to do, certainly on their own YouTube shows. But you were saying, you personally are thinking, I know you had a hope that you will have a connection with Jack again. And I think part of the reason why you're having probably more of a strong response to this is because you've already had that interaction with him, right? And he trusted you that you were going to have another one, and that this is really harming it. And so what did you do? You started a YouTube channel with a guy who's one of the most critical people about Jack. I'm kidding, but
you're okay. You do have a critical opinion of him, and that's fine. But you also, released.
Well, and I've also said I think he's a genius, and I think the way that he went about it, and if everything that I do believe, based on I couldn't have done those 4 PowerPoints and then said I don't think he's the finder if my theory is that he found it in 2019, right? So that defies logic. And were there other people potentially involved with him? Yes, maybe. But even with what KPRO brought out this week, that those emails to Diggin' Gypsy were actually an email that was registered by Jack Stuef, means that wasn't another search partner. That was just Jack using a different email address with a different name, and which would lend some credence to that he was doing this all on his own. And I know I still hold that opinion about the auction website that I know Indy does, and Ben and others. I know that there's a lot of people that are so into, they want to know where the solved location is. They're like, who cares what the timeline is? Does it really matter if it's 2019 or 2020? And
that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And for me, I'm like, yeah, I love the story. What did it do to Forrest? What did it do to Forrest to have somebody let him know they had his chest, but they weren't going to bring it to him yet? And they felt like he left them a mess and that they were going to get the tax thing straightened out, and that he had to keep this facade going all through the winter of 2019 into 2020, all the way to June. And then sadly, obviously, Forrest passes away just months later. And there's an emotional element and a story to it that I like. But I totally get that, Dan, you're like, who cares? And you still want to know. You would love to know. You don't feel like you deserve to know, but you'd love to know. Wouldn't it be interesting if Jack finally came out and said, yeah, it was Barnes Hole or Baker Hole? And you're like, man, I was there. I was there with my dad. So I know that there's a whole faction of people from the community that are like that. And then there's the people that continue to fade away now, right? As time goes on, it's that there's what new info is there any new information coming out?
Mhm.
If an actual chess sale is going to happen, fine, I'll tune back in. I think that's where Adam Foddy is right now. Adam's like, I don't care about any of this stuff, but if there's a chess sale, I'm going to tune back in to see what goes on with that and how it's handled. So I think just being respectful that people are coming at this from different angles, and have different interests. And I think you are respectful, Dan, of other people, even if you disagree with them. And it sounded to me like you were just asking people to say, hey, let's on behalf of the community, here's my opinion. And my opinion is,
well, I come right out and said, stop the witch hunt. I mean, I just felt it was dealt with incorrectly, and we could have dealt with it differently. Would Jack have stayed with? I mean, Jack stepped away from the community right after I met him, and he said,
"It's your fault."
He said, "Yeah,
it's your fault. You met him, and then he stepped away."
Blame me. I mean, he said,
"Copper Dan, everybody, blame Copper Dan. Hashtag blame Copper Dan."
Hey, no, and I believe it was I was around June, maybe earlier than June, when he put out some words, and it ended with, get your final questions, comments together now, because I'm going to step back.
Well, and he also,
and that's when I reached out to him. Oh, did I lose you again?
You're breaking up. Yeah, I think I'm fine. I think you.
No, it's me. It's my guys. I'm sorry. The internet is just being used a lot tonight, but we're making through. No. Anyways, it is what it is, and
yeah, no,
I still hope that I still have hope that I can get him to respond, and maybe I can get any kind of information that he'd be willing to. But I think we have now. Oh, I know where I was at with my thought is when he let us know he was going to be stepping away, and then after we met, he did.
I'm laughing. Bobby Brass says, "Copper, you kind of dress like Joe Rogan. You got that Joe Rogan style."
That's a compliment. Give him a
Dr. Joe Rogan. And USA China's we read those. And then JK, geez, I'm back, just bandaged up an employee that cut themselves.
Man,
makes me wonder where you work. Oh, Barry Casey says, I'm locking up on his feed.
Well, it's because you were coming through mine. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, it looks like you just got over 500 subscribers.
Yeah, I saw that.
UV747 says, not an easy task.
No, we're
Joe John, then why doesn't Jack have the chest with all the other items that come with it, including bronze statue number 1 or the jar? I'm not sure if I get that question. I think
he does have it. It's sitting in an attorney's office. I mean, it's probably the safest place in the world to keep.
And if we're to believe Cynthia, it's actually gone to a auction house to have each item appraised individually and graded for the coins. And I think, Dan, if you recall, you asked Jack the question when you met him in July, what's going on with it? And what did he tell you? He said it's more drawn out, right?
That was the last thing I asked him when I was starting to push my chair back. And I said, can I ask one more question? I said, where are we at with the sale of the chest? And he just said, it is more complicated than I could ever explain. I'm paraphrasing, but basically that. And he, I'm like, okay, fair enough. And and I mean, I've never sold anything through an auction house, John. You might be more of an expert on that. I mean, you're already heading up the heritage thing, so good for you on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've onesie twosie to Chris Nayrod, who's my friend, who's also on the Packers Hall of Fame board, not the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the for the individual team, the Packers Hall of Fame, and it's part of the Lambeau Field. If you go there, the Hall of Fame is right in the facility. He works for Heritage as well too, and I've sold some things to him that he's purchased on behalf of Heritage and then sold on Heritage. One he sold on Heritage for less than he paid me for it, which is kind of humorous. So those auction houses do take risks when they buy things, and that's why they do things what they call on consignment, where they'll do it on consignment, or they'll do it on behalf of the fee, like is most likely for something as substantial as this. I mean, when you're talking, some of those coins are going to be, in the tens of thousands. Some of those items, the dragon bracelet, for instance. And let's not forget a whole group of Forrest friends and some younger, some celebrities that have a lot of money and necessarily weren't into the thrill of the chase, but were into Forrest as a friend. And all the people in the art collecting community outside of the chase, the people that went to Fenn galleries and did business. I mean, he's got a big following outside of the chase, that if an item comes up, there could be some other people bidding that really never even participated in the chase, but would say, boy, I want a pre-Columbian frog that Forrest owns. Sorry, K-Bro. Or I want, the dragon bracelet. I think the really interesting item, and Ben Napple and I agree, is the high and the low of the olive jar. Like, how high does it, I mean, it's an empty olive jar, right? I'm sure you've got jars in your refrigerator right now. Empty one out, whether for whatever it is, or think if you have an olive jar, you empty it out. You put you take a micro copy of a small autobiography, which could be as simple as it just being rumblings, ramblings, or I have no idea what's. And Forrest pulls up hairs out of his head or out of his comb and tapes it in there, and then seals it and puts some wax and everything around it and puts it in the treasure chest. And now that comes up for auction. We were talking, like, Dan, what do you think that olive jar will sell for? And we know what the toothbrush holder sold for, and we know what your map sold for.
So now, a couple factors factor in. A, Forrest is gone. It was in the treasure chest. I would say upwards of 50,000.
Yeah, and Ben and I were talking about, let's just say let's say 14,000, or let's say it's $50,000 for the olive jar, and you open it up and all that's inside of it is rumblings and ramblings shrunken, right? And Ben was saying, once you open it, it's kind of like you've opened the vault, the mystery and the secret's gone. Would you ever recoup that money again, except to say that you have Forrest Fenn's olive jar?
No, so this is in my opinion, because you are buying something that really isn't worth the paper that it's printed on. Yeah. But to the Sam says
he's going to bid $10,000 on the olive jar. Interesting.
Well, then we know it's going to go for at least that. But I think it's going to get bid up.
Yeah, I do too. What about the actual chest, the bronze chest, Dan?
Oh man, that would be a cool thing to own.
So we know Forrest supposedly paid around 25 or so for. Some people valued it just as a chest if it wasn't Forrest around 40.
Wonder what the
high. I had the high bid. I said I think it's going to go for around $200,000. The actual treasure.
There's a replica, and I don't mean the replica that was made. I mean
the one in Detroit.
The one in Detroit. I wonder is that in a museum or did that sell?
Yeah, it's in a museum, and I don't think it's a replica. I think some people are thinking that Forrest's chest was the replica of that chest, but that's conspiracy theory bridge. But yeah, that was the other chest that matched that. And of course, there's the people that believe that the double omegas were that Forrest had one chest and had another one made, and maybe there's another one out there. So that's all fun to think about. I'm going to concentrate on helping people out with heritage, if that's where it's going to be sold, and kind of looking at valuations. And I think one of the things for the people that are interested that haven't been in auctions is you just got to understand how it works. Like some people are like, well, I made a bid and I was immediately outbid in a second. And when that happens, it's because somebody can put in, just like you can on eBay, what your maximum bid is. So just because an item is at $5, you can say, well, I want to bid up to $105. And so someone who goes in and puts $6 is automatically deflated because they're like, well, now it just says I got outbid already. And now I put in $8 and whatever, and they make 10 bids and they quit and go away when they may have been willing to pay $106. So you just have to know the system. And if you don't, and you're really interested in an item, if this actually happens, you know, I'm more than happy to do a Zoom with you or a call, or Dan. We can do it. If it actually comes to fruition, we'll definitely do a deep dive into Heritage. I may be able to get someone from Heritage to come on and go through it with us. And there's some, like I said, tutorials and things like that. But if someone is really, really interested in bidding on something or just wants to know how it's going to work, more than happy to help out when that happens.
So yeah, well, we are.
We just did it.
We're over an hour.
Quickest hour on YouTube. The Copper Factory.
The Copper Factory.
Yep. All right, thanks, buddy. We didn't do a giveaway today, but we got a couple people going into the Copper Kettle. We'll keep track of that. I did do a giveaway. Alan Kelly's getting this from France, from Pep Comics, the Dan Cooper lapel pin. It's going to Alan if he sends me
I got some stuff. So stay tuned. I got some stuff. Next week we'll do a giveaway. Speaking of giveaways, did you see the pictures that I posted on my Facebook site?
When, like today or
last night?
No, I don't know if I did.
Well, I am currently, I posted some pictures of my CNC machine, and I said, when I did
see that. Yes.
Copper Dan is up late at night working CNC and doing creation.
He's making me my Christmas gift. I love it. It's fantastic.
Big things are coming.
That's cool. Yeah, I did see it. You had Forrest's name with the CNC inscribed. It looked like cedarwood. Was that cedarwood?
Yeah, it's the same wood that I did the frame out of that Godalkin owns. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Everybody, I think that's it. And we'll come up with some more fun stuff to give away, fun topics. And Dan looks like he was frozen up for a second. Maybe that's me, but
I'm back. No, it's us. Yeah. No.
So just remember the three keywords from tonight's show were the end of that article. Dan, what were they?
Dildo, boat. I can't remember. What were they?
Dildo, lube boat. If you
Dildo, lube boat.
You're going to want to watch Copper Dan with a straight face say dildo, lube boat.
Maybe I'll go change that. Maybe I'll go change the title to the video to that.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.
Good times. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Bye.